Once upon a time, in a small coastal town, there lived a young man named Ethan. He was known for his kindness, but also for something else, his doubt. No matter what he did, Ethan never believed he was good enough. When he painted, he thought his art was childish. When he helped others, he thought it wasn't enough. When he dreamed of doing something big, he convinced himself he wasn't capable. Because of that, he never truly started anything. Ethan's father used to say, "Son, your thoughts shape your world. If you keep planting seeds of doubt, don't expect to grow a garden of success." But Ethan never understood. One day, a notice spread across the town. A famous sailor named Captain Alden had returned after many years at sea. The captain had faced storms, travelled across oceans and discovered new lands. People called him the man who believed before he achieved. Out of curiosity, Ethan decided to meet him. When Ethan reached the old lighthouse where the captain lived, he found him sitting near the shore fixing a broken compass. The captain looked up and smiled. "You seem lost, young man. What brings you here?" Ethan hesitated and said softly, "I'm not lost, sir, but maybe I am. I doubt myself in everything. I dream of doing something great, but I don't believe I can." The captain looked at him carefully and said, "Then you are like this compass, made to guide ships, but useless if you don't trust your direction." He handed the compass to Ethan and said, "Take this, and meet me tomorrow morning at sunrise near the cliff." The next day, Ethan arrived early. The captain stood by the edge looking at the vast sea below. He gave Ethan a small wooden boat and said, "Sail across to that island you see far away." Ethan looked terrified. "But sir, I've never sailed before. What if I fail?" The captain smiled. "That's your first test. If you believe you can, you will. The sea only obeys those who believe in their journey." Ethan looked at the boat nervously, then at the captain. Finally, he took a deep breath and pushed the boat into the water. The waves were rough and the wind was strong. Every time the boat tilted, his mind screamed, "You can't do this. You'll drown." But another voice, soft yet powerful, whispered, "Keep going." Halfway through the journey, a storm began to rise. The sky turned grey and the waves hit harder. Ethan panicked. He wanted to turn back, but when he looked behind, the land had vanished in the mist. For the first time, he realized he had no choice but to trust himself. He gripped the oars tighter and began to row. His heart raced, his hands ached, but he didn't stop. Hours passed, and slowly the storm began to calm. When he finally reached the island, the sun broke through the clouds. Ethan fell to his knees, exhausted but smiling. He looked back at the sea, the same sea he once feared, and realized something had changed. The waves didn't look dangerous anymore. They looked beautiful. That's when Captain Alden appeared from behind a rock. He had come by another route. "You did it," he said with pride. Ethan asked in surprise, "You knew I'd make it?" The captain laughed. "No, I didn't. But I knew you could. The only thing that matters is that you believed long enough to prove your doubts wrong." Then the captain picked up a handful of sand and let it slip through his fingers. "Ethan," he said, "life is like this sand. If you hold it too tightly with fear, it slips away. But if you hold it gently with belief, it stays. You see, the ocean didn't test your strength, it tested your belief." Tears filled Ethan's eyes. For years, he had been his own biggest obstacle. He realized that doubt was not a weakness. It was simply a voice that lost its power when ignored. When he returned home, Ethan was no longer the same person. He started painting again, this time with confidence. He shared his art with the village, and soon people admired his work. He helped children learn to paint, telling them, "Before you achieve anything, you must first believe you can." Years later, Ethan became known as the artist of the sea. People came from faraway towns to see his paintings, each one filled with calm waves and golden skies. But more than his art, people remembered his story, the boy who stopped doubting and started believing. And whenever someone asked how he overcame fear, Ethan would smile and say, "The moment I believed I could sail that boat, I had already reached the island."